cell of Adamas University. My name is Oindrila Dattagupta and I am a student of School of Life Science and Biotechnology. This unique platform brings together various eminent leaders from industry, academia, and aspiring professionals on a common forum. It is an integral part of our yearly calendar where our students will get an opportunity to interact directly with successful industry leaders through the virtual platform. I would now request our respective Director of Career Development Cell, Alumni Relations and Group Outreach, Adamas University, Mr. Abhijit Giri, to set the context for today's session.
Hi, very good evening, Vendrila, and very good evening, my friend, esteemed speaker, guest of this evening, Amit Pandey. Amit ji, hi, good evening, and good evening to all respected my professor's colleague, my colleague from my team, colleague from the different business entity of the group, colleagues and other the students who are attending this program, and the students probably who are even attending through other social media site, and all attendees, ladies and gentlemen. I think Adamas G Summit, this program itself is a week-long program, and from the day one we have learned a lot of things from the stalwart of the industries. We heard Ketan Bhagat. We heard different other industry leaders like Supriyo from Axis Bank and N.K. Chaudhary from Jaipur Raks. And today is the last and final day of Adamas G Summit, where we have got our very good friend of ours is Amit, who is going to talk about a very important topic. Its name as life beyond study. I think from the day one in India, at least, the day anybody born, parents, society, relatives, everybody start thinking in the process that he or she is going to study a lot, either going to become engineer. Again, nowadays it is now becoming more specific. Want to become engineer? That's to even IITs. Want to become doctor, or want to become some successful professional. Something somewhere is a very successful, and that's the reason they must have a strong academic background. Looking at the the history, if you see, there are a lot of successful people in their life. They may not be the first bencher in their school or in college. I was just recalling one statement of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. He always says that all successful people are not from the first bench of the school or not from the first bench of the college. There are a lot of people are even in the last bencher are great and great successful. Now the message is, the question is here. Today the students all are struggling what they want to do and what they want to become in their life. Question is, what is that element beyond education, or rather not education, beyond study, which is actually making them successful? Question is, and what is that we need to actually gather, and we can become a very, very successful? Because in most of the time, the chosen domain or chosen subject that we are actually taking in our undergraduate or postgraduate programs is actually our choice, may not be our passion. It may be pressure from the different part of the society. Parents want, I want to become and I need to be engineer, or other relatives want, I need to be a doctor, or maybe trained. This is the time when IT is booming, and thereby we all need to study BTech computer science. This is the time probably automation or technology is booming, so you all need to go into that flow. Probably This is how we choose our career destination, and this is how we decide what is that subject I need to study. Sometimes it is not our heart's call. Sometimes, most of the time, not sometimes, rather, most of the time, it is not at all our heart's call. Most of the time, it is not at all our passion. And thereby, the all struggle starts when we are actually getting into the industry. This is a survival struggle. I think there we need to understand what is success in life, what is success in career, and what is that beyond study we need to do, which can define our success, which can define our passion oriented success. I think this is a very, very important topic. Personally, it is very close to my heart kind of topic. And that's the reason when I talked to Amit a couple of days before this program, we discussed a lot of areas, what all area that we should actually talk, what all area Amit should actually come and say here. And then finally, we decide Amitji is going to talk about the last program, the last session of this Adamas G7 2021 session. Amitji is going to talk about life beyond study, which is a very, very important topic. I think with this note, we all eagerly waiting to know a lot of things from him, a lot of examples, a lot of study, a lot of message from him. With this note, I would like to now, go back to the host of this evening and to formally introduce our esteemed guest speaker of this evening, Mr. Amit Pandey. Over to you, Oindrila.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. I would now call upon my co-host for the session, Mr. Shayok Ranjan Sanyal from the School of Law and Justice to run us through Mr. Amit Pandey's profile.
Thank you, Andrila. A very good evening to everyone. It's a proud privilege to have with us the CEO and Board of Director of PinCap, Mr. Amit Pandey. He is also the founder and chief mentor of Super 77, an initiative which helps working professionals and students to learn 21 leadership skills and transform their personality with the help of 9 top-level global thought leaders. He is a chemical engineer from HBTU Kanpur and has been associated with various automotive, telecom, and finance industries. From the core of his heart, he is a procurement, supply chain, operations, and human resource professional. On his professional journey, he has worked with some of the most prestigious organizations like Maruti Udyog Limited, Honda Cars India Limited, Bharti Airtel Limited, Ticona Infinite Limited, and Exicom Telesystems Limited. He is a very popular motivational speaker, a leadership executive coach and mentor, life coach, counselor, and a visionary. He is also on corporate advisory board member in 4 universities and 3 colleges. In the last 6 years, his passion towards his profession has resulted into 116 awards. Yes, 116 awards to his credit in the field of leadership, procurement, supply chain, human resource, and few of his awards are like Promising Indian of the Year, CHRO of the Year, HR Leader of the Year, Procurement Leader of the Year for consecutive 3 years, Supply Chain Personality of the Year, Supply Chain Visionary of the Year, FM and CRE Leader of the Year, Demand Planning and Forecasting Leader of the Year, and the list just goes on and on. He is also a TEDx speaker, spoken 3 times in TEDx, and is often invited by the leading business and engineering colleges for charging our next generation. Since last 5 years, he is charging humans with passion and dedication through his guest lectures in more than 500 colleges and organizations. And that's how people gave him the name the Human Charger in 2019. A global knowledge-based platform, popularly known as Procurement League, United States of America, has selected 5 global brand ambassadors, 2 from USA, 2 from Romania, and 1 from India. A big congratulations to Mr. Pandey for representing our country in the global platform and making all of us to feel proud to be an Indian. Please welcome our guest of honor today, Mr. Amit Pandey. Sir, over to you.
Thank you so much, Saika, and thank you so much, everyone, for such a wonderful introduction. Thank you. I hope I'm audible as well as I'm visible. You all can see me live.
You
Yes,
are.
sir.
Okay. Okay,
Yes, sir.
great. Glad to see, and thank you so much, Abhijit sir, for giving me the opportunity to speak in front of such a beautiful and wonderful audience. So I'll start what I think Abhijit sir was actually trying to explain, that what Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam once said. So he actually said that, and it's a very powerful quote what he has mentioned. He said that the best brains of the nation may be found on the last benches of the classroom. And I don't know whether he knew me personally or not, because I'm the kind of a student who used to be fine in the last bench of the, and I can say yes, of course, he was right. I don't know about Abhijit sir, might be very good topper in schools or colleges.
Never. Never, never, never.
But
Always the last
actually,
venture. Always
yeah.
the last venture used to try to go, used to use the last, door of the classroom. The
That's
moment
amazing.
teacher flip, I will go back.
Yeah, that's amazing. So, guys, a very warm good evening. Amazing, like Saturday evening, and I'm sure this is not a so-called the technical session, and something like what we are going to talk about, that life beyond the studies. Okay, so I want all of you to be little active, and I would love to see a lot of messages on the chat box, and that's what I want all of you to become really energetic and become very active. So, if I have to tell all of you that why we have selected this topic of so-called life beyond studies, because since in a country like India, and mostly in the global platform also, but majority of people, especially in our country, when you see, when we take the birth and since our childhood till the time of the graduation or post graduation, I think we have been told only to do only one task, and that is called study. Okay, so let me ask all of you a simple question, and you all have to answer that question on a chat box. Whatever you are studying currently, might be doing undergrad, might be doing the postgrad, might be BCom, BSc, BA, BTech, whatever, LLB, whatever, or MTech, MBA, MCA, whatever you are studying, what you will get is called degree. If I have to ask you a simple question, can you put the answer in the chat box? Is degree standalone will help you to succeed in your life? Put the answer in the chat box with yes or no. I want to see who is the first person to put the answer. I hope people can type on the chat box. No, sir.
Put the answer
Okay.
in the chat box with yes or no. I want to
Okay.
see who is the
Great, sir.
first
No,
person.
sir. No, sir. No, sir. Okay, and unauthorized approval, just okay. No, sir, no, sir. Keep typing, guys. Let me just see. What is your thought? No. So you all know that the degree standalone, that a piece of a paper will not help you to succeed in your life. The second question which I'm going to ask all of you is that if along with the degree, you are going to get a lot of so-called the technical knowledge, in corporate word, we call it as a domain expertise. You will get a lot of technical knowledge during your studying period, okay, during your education period. So if I have to ask you another question, and that goes like this, that how much percentage you think that your technical knowledge will help you to succeed in your life? Put the answer in the percentage form. Technical knowledge percentage contribution to succeed in life, to get success in life. Get that answer. Put the percentage, 90%. Prerna, heads up to you. I love people who initiate. 70, 85, 50. Keep typing, guys. Keep typing. 70, 80. Great. Keep typing. I want to see that. There are a lot of people. I think there are around 81 people I can see on the. Okay, 75, 50, 80, 85, 50, 75. Okay, anybody else? Or rest all are like enjoying Saturday night, sir. ज़्यादा मेहनत वाले काम मत कराइए. Okay, guys. So let's see. Most of the people have said 75, 80. I'm going to start this entire session with a very powerful thought clarity with all of you. Watch this small video, and I think you all will get a very powerful thought clarity about your future. Watch this small video, which is basically the survey of 10,000 people who have reached to the top position, and they all were Stanford graduates. And when there are two questions, what has been asked to them, what is the answer came from them? And the second thing, what you need to watch in that video, that why Mr. Narayan Murthy, the founder and CEO of Infosys, had to fire 6 out of top 10 executives, or what you can chartered accountant whom they have hired in Infosys. Watch this video very, very carefully. Oops, I think I need to put on the, okay, share sound. I hope the screen is visible and you can see the sound.
Was a study that was done in Stanford where they asked extremely successful Stanford graduates, how much percentage do you attribute the success of your life to domain expertise, and how much percentage do you attribute to soft skills? Now, what do you think was the answer? More than 10,000 people were interviewed. Yeah? What do you think was the answer? No, percentage bolo na. How many? How many in domain expertise? How much percentage domain expertise? 20, 30? You want to know the result? This was what the successful people who were Stanford graduates said, that 87.5% of the success that I have in my life, I attribute to me being a nice person. Of course, you can be a very nice person and not know a shit about your subject and still not succeed. So this is important. 12.5% is important, but it is 12.5%. Now, if you check out the time, effort and money that you spend in developing these two, it is absolutely the opposite. Yeah, more than 90% of your time, effort and money goes into domain expertise. Study. Right? Very little of your time, effort and money do you invest in developing soft skills. Yes, this is why India today has become a country of the educated unemployable. Yeah, you know, Narayan Murthy, head of Infosys, actually wrote a letter to the Chartered Accountancy Association of India this year. He hired the top 10 graduates of CA, top 10. Within 6 months, he had to fire 6 of those people. Zero over here, cannot communicate, no clarity of thought, no ability to take decisions. He wrote a letter saying, what are you doing? What kind of people are you training? Yes, so the way you are right now, are you geared for success? The effort, time and money that you are spending on your education, is it taking you towards success or is it taking you towards something else? This is a question you have to ask yourself.
Such a powerful thought clarity you might have got. Okay, all these 80%, 90%, what do you think as a part of your technical knowledge that will help you in terms of getting success in your life? The answer is no, not at all. And there are a lot of surveys which has happened. You go to Harvard Business School, you go to London Business School, you go to IIMs, you go to Carnegie Institute of Technology. I think one of the best survey which I have found of more than 30,000 CXO level people, where the Carnegie Institute of Technology has done this entire survey, and the result what they have come out, they have put it in a form of a quotation, in a form of a very powerful statement. I want all of you to engrave this entire statement in your personality. Just read it, learn it, understand it, and just, कहते हैं ना, अपने जहन के अंदर बिठा करके रख लो. Just watch this small statement. As per Carnegie Institute of Technology, 85% of your financial success is due to your personality, due to your ability to communicate, ability to negotiate, ability to influence, and ability to lead. As a leader, Shockingly, surprisingly, only 15% is due to the technical knowledge. And if I have to represent the entire CEO of the organization or an entire network of the CEO, I can personally endorse this statement as 100% correct. And this is what you can check and you can ask anybody. So then let's understand what is 15% and what is 85%. 15% is what you study, and 85% is what you don't study. Now, that is called something beyond study, and that is called something life beyond study. What you study is just tip of the iceberg. There is a huge opportunity for you to learn various skills. And if you see in that video what has been used, the term called soft skill, if I have to tell you that it's not only the soft skill, it is actually called 85% is leadership skill. Now, the leadership skill is nothing but a combination of 5 sub skills. The first skill of leadership skill is called management skills. Second is life skills. Third is soft skill. Fourth is social skills. And the fifth one is called happiness skills. Because when you become a powerful, growing, and progressing at the same time, if you are not happy, you are not a leader. All these 5 skills, when combined together, then comes as a part of a leadership skills. Any one is missing, you're not a powerful leader. And if I have to introduce you, the most powerful leader I have ever seen in my life, I am going to show you that small leader, which will actually give you a lot of goosebumps. And I think you will be able to relate the quality or the power of leadership. And then I'll explain each and every characteristics of a leader. So just see this small video, which is actually showing you that the power of leadership, that why this power of leadership you need to learn. Just see that video.
सर आपके लिए उस पार कार का इंतजाम किया है सर आइए सर चल चल
I hate this country.
चलो तो हिंदुस्तान चले तुम चलो तो हिंदुस्तान चले तुम चलो तो हिंदुस्तान चले तुम चलो तो हिंदुस्तान चले लगा हाथ के सूरज सुबह निकाला करे हथेलियों में भरे धूप और उछाला करे ओ लगा हाथ के सूरज सुबह निकाला करे हथेलियों में भरे धूप और उछाला करे उफक पे पाँव रखो और चलो अकड़ के चलो उफक पे पाँव रखो और चलो अकड़ के चलो फलक पकड़ के उठो और हवा पकड़ के चलो फलक पकड़ के उठो और हवा पकड़ के चलो तुम चलो तो हिंदुस्तान चले तुम चलो तो हिंदुस्तान चले हिंदुस्तान चले
Amazing, amazing. I'm sure you might have got that those goosebumps like after watching this video. So if I have to ask all of you that what you have observed in this video, what you have learned from this video, can you put on the chat box that what exactly you have observed in this video? Let me see what is your observation skill. You can. I think this video can teach you 100 of things. Let me see what is that one thing which you have observed in this video. Leadership quality of the child in this small age. Wow, Prerna, heads up to you. That's amazing. Enthusiasm. Wow. A leader guides instead of boosting around, bossing around. Very good. Okay, it's important to initiate. So initiative, collaboration of unity, bringing the real efforts. Wow. So this is basically talking about the collaboration, the unity, the spirituality. Wow. Looks like Ketan Bhagat ka session abhi bhi dimag mein chal raha hai. Great. Together, everyone achieve more. Teamwork. Leaders lead by examples. Teamwork is equal to success. Wow. Unity of people. Keep typing. I'm sure you might have heard, observed and learned a lot of things. Okay. So if you see all of you, whatever you said is so many things what you can learn from this video. When I have observed this video, when I saw this video, I have observed one thing. And that one thing what I have observed is that is called, there is nothing called age when it comes to leadership. There's nothing called qualification when it comes to leadership. There's nothing called financial status. It doesn't matter which society you belong, which financial background, family you belong, doesn't matter. What status, what designation, what title you carry in a corporate world, doesn't matter. What matters is so-called the power of leadership. So leadership can actually happen, or everybody can learn leadership, because there is a saying called that leaders are not born, leaders are built. So that is what one skill, what I want all of you to start looking and exploring and start learning. And that is called the power of leadership. In case, if you are able to understand the power of leadership, you will come out of the comfort zone, come out of the so-called the comfort zone and keep working on the model called study, 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 study. You have to work beyond studies, because there are, so in a country like India, we have a huge number of population. We have huge people, so many people around us. What is going to make you different? Just keep thinking on that direction. What will make you different from rest of the people? Everybody is studying. Everybody is one college or another universities. Everybody is studying. And I personally believe that most of the people actually know, about the technical knowledge. But the problem comes is the ability to communicate, the ability to negotiate, the ability to influence, the ability to sell your personality. You might be seeing that when there is an interview process happens, and when we debate that what exactly any interview process works, the person who is giving the interview, he is actually selling the skills what you are having to the other person, the way you present your personality to the other person. So the presentation skills, communication skills, how to influence a skill, the way you influence the other person, that makes the difference between one candidate to another candidate. And that's what I want all of you to just keep working on that direction. And do not get trapped into the model where a lot of people, I'm sure you might have seen a lot of people, when they grow, they stop laughing. If I have to ask you this question, have you ever seen people when they grow, they stop laughing? Have you ever seen people, put the answer on the chat box, yes or no? Have you ever seen people when they grow, they stop laughing? Chanina, heads up to you. Yes, keep tapping. Mostly you have seen. The people, when they grow, they stop laughing. Why it happens that they stop laughing? The first reason which I have identified, and that is called that people work on a very serious note. So they have learned the model called be serious, while they should have learned the model called be sincere. So if you watch my TED Talk, I have clearly mentioned that don't be serious, be sincere. Don't take things lightly, but take things easy. Take it easy policy. If you start working on that model without losing out your personality in terms of happiness, we call that, that category of the people I define, and I normally present, 4 category of people in terms of the growth and happiness. It's a 4-box quadrant, what you can say, the matrix. So if I have to put the first quadrant, the people who are called A category people who are growing but not happy. They are not at all happy. They are not happy people. They carry a lot of frustration, they carry a lot of depression, they carry a lot of anger, and they might be reached to the top positions. And I've seen so many CEO level people. They carry so much of frustration, so much of pressure, so much of tension with them. And हिंदी में एक शेर है जो मैं कभी कभी बोल देता हूँ कि बचपन की हंसी बड़े होते होते पता नहीं कहाँ लुप्त हो गई। बचपन की हंसी बड़े होते होते पता नहीं कहाँ लुप्त हो गई। न जाने कौन है कमबख्त वो लोग जो कहते हैं कि हम मैच्योर हो गए। अगर आपकी हंसी बड़े होते होते खत्म हो गई है, दैट इज नॉट कॉल्ड मैच्योरिटी। मैच्योरिटी इज समथिंग बियॉन्ड दैट। Maturity is how you manage situations, people, circumstances, how you manage such situations like COVID. That's called maturity. Maturity is keep growing and making yourself always happy. If I have to give you the mantra of the success of the mantra, most of the people thought that the growth is success. Let me tell you guys, the growth is not success. In fact, growth, when get added with two more elements, and that is called integrity and ethics, then it becomes progress. So growth plus integrity plus ethics is equal to progress, still not success. In the progress, when you add two more elements, then it becomes success. And those two elements are called happiness and peace. So the formula works like growth plus integrity plus ethics plus happiness plus peace is equal to success. And that's the real meaning of success. Any one thing is missing out of these five things, no success. So people who have grown to the top position generate a lot of, मैंने देखा बहुत सारे कॉर्पोरेट में जितने भी आदमी जो बड़ी बड़ी पोजीशन पे चले जाते हैं, वो सारे लोग जितने बड़ी पोजीशन होते हैं उनके चेहरे अजीब से मनहूस टाइप के होने लगते हैं. They generate a lot of negative vibes towards that. I still remember I was doing this leadership coaching program in one of the pharma company, and all these around 60, 65 people were there. All were HODs. So all were like general manager, vice president. मैंने एक जोक मारा सेशन के बीच में, कोई हंसा ही नहीं. उनको बताना पड़ा सर जोक था, तब जाके उन्होंने जोक था. फिर उनसे पूछा गया भाई लास्ट टाइम कब हंसे, लाफ्टर कब किया था आपने लास्ट टाइम. तो सामने एक बैठे थे जनरल मैनेजर जो थे, वो शायद कस्टमर केयर हेड थे. उन्होंने पूछा सर लाफ्टर का मतलब. मैंने कहा लाफ्टर का मतलब वो होता है जब पेट पकड़ के जमीन में लोट लोट के हंसना. तो कहते शोभा नहीं देता. मैंने क्यों, डेजिग्नेशन ऊपर लेके आ गए और नाम के. फिर उनको एक मैसेज दिया जाता है, और ये मैसेज आप सब लोग बहुत अच्छे से याद रखना, क्योंकि जब लाइफ में ग्रो करना और बड़े होना तो इस मैसेज को हमेशा याद रखना. उनको एक मैसेज दिया जाता है कि हम सबकी लाइफ में हंसी का एक कोटा है, जिस कोटा को हम लोगों को पूरा करना है. अभी हंस लो, नहीं तो बुढ़ापे में पार्क में पाए जाओगे हाथ ऊपर उठा उठा के जोर जोर से हा 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 करते हुए. मैं अपने सुबह संडे को क्रिकेट खेलने जाता हूँ, 5 बजे निकला तो एक मेरे पड़ोसी हैं, वो एक बहुत बड़ी ऑयल कंपनी से रिटायर हुए. वो मिल गए एक दिन मुझे, कहते कहाँ जा रहे हो. सर क्रिकेट खेलने. मैंने कहा सर आप कहाँ जा. कहते लाफ्टर क्लब ज्वाइन किया है. मैंने कहा क्यों. कहते डॉक्टर ने बोला. मैंने कहा जब ऑफिस में थे तो बहुत टेंशन लेकर के जी रहे थे, तब तो हंसे नहीं. अब डॉक्टर ने बोला कि कोटा पूरा करो तो कोटा पूरा कर रहे. ट्रस्ट मी, दिस इज व्हाट यू हैव टू लर्न. If I have to tell you that how these big people, the personalities so-called who are visible on LinkedIn with the profile of CEO, board of directors, or big profile, most of them are not happy people. Trust me, I meet so many people. I'm a social person and I've met so many people. They carry so much of frustration. You give them one opportunity and they, completely spread out their entire frustration. Watch this small video, which will tell you that this entire video is called actually the garbage theory. So I've created some 123 theories. In fact, in Super 77, more than 50 plus theories I've explained. So if you watch this video, you will understand what exactly is the garbage theory. In 1 minute of the video, I think you will be able to get the biggest learning of your life. Just watch this video.
Tommy?
Yes, come on in.
How you doing?
Good. 23rd and Broadway.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Let's go. How are you today?
I'm doing good. There's so much to do. So much to do. Whoa! Whoa! Watch out! Whoa! That was close.
What the hell? You almost hit me. Where did you let
How are you so calm and so friendly? This guy almost ruined your car and sent us to the hospital.
Well, I'll tell you something, man. People are like garbage trucks.
Really now? How's that?
Well, they run around with garbage and they're full of disappointment, full of frustration, full of anger. And when their garbage piles up, they need a place to dump it on. And sometimes they'll dump it on you. But you know what? You don't take it personal. You just wave, smile, you wish them well, and you move on. Don't let their garbage spread to the people at work, at home, or on the streets. You love those who treat you right, and you pray for those who don't. See, now life is 10% of what you make it. The other 90 is how you take it.
Isn't it amazing video? Amazing message at the last. That life is 10% of the actions what you do and 90% of the reactions. And that is how the entire model of the reaction becomes so powerful. So much powerful. And that is why people who have a peace of their mind, they are always cool. They are always calm. They are so smiling people. They generate a lot of positive vibes. Otherwise, people, you meet that A category people, and these A category people are people who are growing but not happy. You have seen the CEO on that particular label. Somehow the B category people, the second category people, somehow they are satisfied people, somehow they are happy people, I can say, but at the same time, they're not growing. So they have killed their mindset of the growth. So they are not growing. In the corporate world, we see a lot of such people, and these are the people who work in a corporate world with two philosophies. The first philosophy they work is called Raghupati Raghav Raja Ram, or Bhaiya Jitna Paisa Utna Ka. They are not creative people. They are not innovative people. They will not do too much of work. Whatever work you give it to them, they work on a push model. They don't create any pull model. So these are the people who are always very lazy people. They always live their life in their comfort zone. They do not, dream something big, and very standard, small activities. So these are called B category people. The second philosophy they work on these B category people is called two punch, one lunch. In the morning when they go to the office, they punch. Afternoon when they take mast wala lunch, and evening when they again go and take punch and come back to home और घर आकर के बोलते हैं जल्दी से खाना दे दो बहुत भूख लगी है क्योंकि आज बहुत काम किया. Eventually, effectively, they have not worked anything. कुछ काम नहीं किया उन्होंने. So these are the B category. C category people, the third category people, amazing people. These are the people who are neither growing nor happy. So in corporate, what we call these people as a complaint box people, or you can say Rotulu Singh, or you can say the crying babies. These are the people who will find problem in every solution. They are so much negatively trapped in their mindset that they will see problem everywhere. And you might have seen a lot of your friends, a lot of you in your network also. If you want to identify such people, you have to do a very small, funny trial with them. The trial, what you have to do is, you meet them physically. उनसे बोलो hi, वो बोलेंगे hi. How are you? कहेंगे fine. कुछ नहीं करना है, सिर्फ एक बार फिर से पूछना है, दोबारा पूछना है. कैसे पूछना है मैं आपको बता देता हूँ. उनकी आंखों में आंखें डाल के धीरे से बोलना, भाई सब कुछ ठीक है ना? आप बिलीव नहीं करोगे, वो बंदा बंदी जो भी है, whatever problem he or she is having, he will tell you each and every problem. अरे भाई पूछो मत क्या क्या प्रॉब्लम चल रही है. कोविड आ गया है, फ्यूचर का भरोसा नहीं है, समझ में नहीं आ रहा जॉब लगेगी नहीं लगेगी, और इतनी ज्यादा प्रॉब्लम चल रही है. डिजिटल सेशंस होते हैं, उसके ऊपर ऐसे बोरिंग सेशंस लग देते हैं, सब कुछ होता है. डिजिटल फटीग हो रहा है, डेटा खत्म हो रहा है, समझ में नहीं आ रहा, बाहर जाने को नहीं मिल रहा. He or she will tell you 10 problems happening in his or her life, and these people will find problem in every solution. They'll find problem in college, professors, universities, friends. Tomorrow they go to the corporate world, 5 days working nahi hai, culture theek nahi hai, khana acha nahi mil raha hai. All the problems they will see in any of the solution, what you will see. These are the people who are called strongly, very highly negatively trapped people. These are called C category. So if I have to tell you these three set of people, A category, growing but not happy. B category, happy but not growing. C category, neither happy nor growing. And if I have to ask all of you a simple question, Put on the chat box as the answer. Which category of these people, which category of these A, B, C you want to become in your life? Or write none of them. Then I'll tell you the fourth category. Put none of them. You don't want to become any of these three category people. Then I'll tell you what is the fourth category. Put the none of them that you don't want to pick up. You don't want to get trapped with any of these three category of people, right? Then I'll introduce you the fourth category of people. The fourth category of the people are called S category of people. These are the super category people. These are the people who are special people. What are the characteristics of these category of people? Listen them carefully. The first category of such people, that they are very, very positive personality. They are very powerful personality. Their mindset is like a stone. They are very, very humble persons. Humanity and humility carry themselves. Ethical value, integrity, happiness, peace, everything they have. They are powerful orators. They are powerful speakers. When they speak, when they meet with anyone, they generate a lot of positive aura. Or they are very powerful influencers. सामने वाला बोलता है वाह यार क्या बंदा है क्या बंदी है. This is the character of these kind of people. These are the people who have a power of listening. They listen to understand. They do not listen to reply. They have a lot of charity in their hand. They are always ready to help humanity. They are always ready to help society. Everybody come across in front of them. These are the people who are called very powerful, thought leaders, global thought leaders, you can say. That is how you all need to start working towards your personality. Because as per Carnegie Institute of Technology, 85% of your financial success will be dependent upon your personality. The moment you come out of your personality, you will see the change happening with you. How your personality change will happen? I'll give you the secret of that. And that secret is nothing, not a big secret, but that is basically a very powerful statement by none other than Gautam Buddha. Gautam Buddha once said that the positivity, it's about the positive thoughts, that your mind is a powerful thing. When you filter it with positive thoughts, your life will start to change and you will become a powerful personality. Magic will happen in your life. Miracles will happen in your life. I have personally experienced them. I have personally seen miracles, not one, two, multiple miracles. Getting award in India, Singapore, London, 116 award, spoken around more than 500 plus colleges, corporate conferences. All these things have happened just because I have created that filter in my mind. So I say that I don't allow negative thoughts to enter in my mind. That is rule number one for me. And second rule for me is that I don't allow any person, any situation or any circumstances to make me sad. I allow everyone to make me happy. So that is how a personality need to be upgraded, need to be transformed. Complete transformation of the personality will happen the day you decide that you are going to change your personality. And trust me, all these things will not happen when you read so-called technical studies. All these things with only books will not be able to help. You need to learn and practice. Learn, practice. And that is why the model comes as a part of implementation. बहुत साल पहले, I think long back, people used to call that knowledge is the power. People used to say, जो ज़्यादा ज्ञानी, वो सबसे ज़्यादा powerful आदमी. But now the model has changed because knowledge is getting spread all over. आप कभी भी देख लीजिए, आपको भर भर के ज्ञानी मिलेंगे, उनसे बातें करा लीजिए. सुबह सुबह व्हाट्सएप पे मैसेज आते हैं ना, वो गुड मॉर्निंग करके हाथ जोड़ के एक बढ़िया सा कोट के साथ. सो नॉलेज सब जगह फैला हुआ है. आप किसी भी सोशल मीडिया प्लेटफॉर्म में चले जाइए, कहीं भी देख लीजिए, आपको लोग केवल नॉलेज की बातें बता रहे हो. ज्ञान ज्ञान ज्ञान. So knowledge is no more the power. The power is implementation of that knowledge. If you have 100 of knowledge, and out of that, if you are able to implement one knowledge, your life will start changing towards the right direction. And that is what you all need to learn and start working. Let me introduce another very powerful theory, and that theory called 7-21-90 days theory. These are number of days. To start a good habit, you have to just work for 7 days. Just do that. 7 days to start a good habit, 21 days to build that habit, and 90 days to convert that habit into lifestyle. If any good habit you want to start, let's say happiness is a habit. You start today that from now onwards, I am not going to be sad. Just for 7 days, you just need to practice happiness. And after that, 21 days to build that happiness. After 90 days, it will become your lifestyle. आज से अगले 20, 30, 40, 50 साल तक आपकी एक लाइफस्टाइल में हैप्पीनेस इंग्रेव हो जाएगी. You'll become a very powerful, happy-go-lucky person. And if you see happy-go-lucky, it says such a powerful statement that people who are happy, they only become lucky. अगर आप खुश हैं तभी आप lucky हैं. Why? Because when you are happy, you take things, everything as in a very, very happy mood. And the second, I think, the theory which I want you all to implement, and that is called power of acceptance. Accept whatever comes in front of you as it is. That is called power of acceptance. So do not design your future. I've seen a lot of youngsters, they are like, sir, aisi job chahiye, aisi job chahiye, aisi job chahiye. Please do not design your job. Please do not design your profession. Because there are only very few people who have been able to convert their hobby into profession. But most of the people I have seen, they are not able to convert their hobby into profession. So if you can't convert your hobby into profession, then convert your profession into hobby. Because you will never choose your profession. Profession will choose you one day. It doesn't matter what you are studying. You might be studying finance, you might end up, working in a corporate world in maybe HR domain. You might be studying HR, you might be doing marketing. You might be studying marketing, you might be doing operation. You never know what the divine forces has actually, planned something for you. And trust me, this is called the power of acceptance. If you are able to do that, if you are able to, put that power of acceptance in your personality, trust me, this is the model called accept and excel. कोई भी चीज आपको लाइफ में मिले उसको एक्सेप्ट करो और एक्सेल करके दिखाओ. इससे कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता ये मेरे इंटरेस्ट का एरिया नहीं है, मैं तो ये पढ़ाई नहीं कर रहा हूं. If I have to tell you a lot of case studies, lot of surveys which are happening. One of the survey which has been done by one of the top HR company in HR consulting organization in India, pre second wave of COVID, before second wave of the COVID. ठीक है, second wave के बाद situation और खराब हुई है. 88% of the corporate job profiles will be related to the primary functions. And what are the primary functions? Are primary functions which are directly linked to the business. Business development, digital marketing, social media, content writing, all the things, sales, marketing. 88% of the jobs are going to be designed or going to be created in the corporate world as frontline or direct primary business. All the functions which are not primary, and normally what we call them the secondary functions, or you can say, just for you to understand, is called support function. Function with support to the business, be it the HR, be it the operations, be it the finance, all these are support function, work for the business. The number of profiles are going to be down with a large numbers. Like there will be huge amount of jobs which are not going to be created. Now, what is your choice? A very simple choice is either you develop a skill to get ready for those primary functions, or you say, नहीं sir, मुझे कुछ चेंज नहीं करना, मैं तो जो पढ़ाई कर रहा हूँ वही करूंगा, उस पे जॉब मिल जाती है, अच्छी बात है, नहीं तो कोई बात नहीं, घर में बैठे रहेंगे और लोगों को बताते रहेंगे यार वो कोविड आ गया था ना, इसलिए जॉब अपॉर्चुनिटीज नहीं मिली. Come out of the comfort zone, learn new skills, and that is how you need to work with your mindset. Your biggest fight is going to be with your mindset. Biggest fight. And I've seen a lot of people who love living their life in comfort zone. If I have to tell you, there are 5 zones where people live their life. Just to explain the zone, just see this picture and I think you can relate. The majority of the zone where people love to live their life is called comfort zone, where you feel safe, control, जो पढ़ रहे हैं वही ठीक है, बहुत ज्यादा मेहनत करने की जरूरत नहीं है, बहुत ज्यादा इधर उधर हाथ पैर मारने की जरूरत नहीं है. The day you start working towards outside comfort zone, the first thing comes as a part of a fear zone. So when you come out of the comfort zone, the first thing comes and hit your mindset is called lack of self-confidence. कोई भी नई चीज आप ट्राई करेंगे, सबसे पहले आपका माइंडसेट कहेगा नहीं नहीं नहीं, ये तो आप कर ही नहीं सकते. ठीक है. सेकेंड थिंग विच विल कम एज ए पार्ट ऑफ अ फाइंड एक्सक्यूजेस. मेरे पास टाइम नहीं है, मेरे पास पैसे नहीं है, मेरे पास मेहनत करने के लिए एनर्जी नहीं है, ऑल दीज थिंग्स. So you'll find excuses for not doing or learning any new skill. The third thing what is going to affect you is basically others' opinion. सब लोग बोले अरे क्या फर्क पड़ता है यार, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है, तो बीटेक मैकेनिकल कर रहा है, चिंता मत करो, कोर में ही जॉब मिलेगी. And you keep working on core. Trust me, कोर में जॉब बहुत मुश्किल से मिलेगी, बहुत लकी होगे जब आपको कोर में जॉब मिलेगी. So the moment you cross the fear zone, the third zone called is learning zone. This is the zone which I recommend to each and every student, each and every youth to be always there in learning zone. When you are in learning zone, you are dealing with challenges and problems. You are acquiring new skills. In Super 77, we have designed 21 leadership skills, including soft skills, happiness skills, all these skills. Extension of your comfort zone. So you go and learn and then you become comfort, because your model is more of a learning and get comfort. Learning and get comfort. That is model. After the learning zone, you come to the fourth zone called growth zone. Growth zone is basically when you find your purpose of your life, you start living your dreams, you set your new goals, or you conquer your objectives. The fifth zone, which is not written here, is that is beyond growth zone, and that is called magical zone. All the miracles I have seen happen with the people who have crossed all these four zones, then only the miracle happens with the people. This is how the day, the moment, the time you decide that you are going to work on this model and then come out of the comfort zone, and then you'll see the miracle happening in your life. Complete miracle will happen in your life. But these are not easy things. These are not at all easy things. These are very, very tough things. Fighting with your own mindset is the biggest fight you will ever do in your life. You might be thinking that your life is driven by people around you, situation around you, and might be the incident happened in past. These are the three things what most of the people say. Trust me, this is the biggest myth. Let me tell you the truth. There are only three people who will drive your life positively or negatively, and they are called I, me, and myself. It's only you who is responsible for your entire future. It's only you who will drive this entire model towards success. And please do not postpone it. कि ठीक है बाद में कर लेंगे, देखेंगे जब मौका मिलेगा तब सीख लेंगे. Start today. I think I have never ever postponed any good thing in my life. Whenever I get an opportunity, I don't think too much. I just start. So that is what I strongly recommend, that you all can do that activity. What will happen when you will do this? Let's see what will happen. If I have to tell you all these things you have to do, and you say, okay, sir, आप बोल रहे हो तो हम कर लेते हैं. But उससे होगा क्या? What will happen when you will do this? One day, I am going to show you a small clip. What will happen? What has happened with me? The same thing will happen with you also. One day, you will go on a stage, give a speech, might be to your own college or some other college or some other corporate. And when you will speak and when you will close your speak, how people will respond. Watch this small video to see how your future will be.
So, hence, the journey continues. This is a journey without destination. So, let's keep doing this journey. Thank you so much. Thank you very much for all participating. you, sir.
So trust me, guys, this is what your future. But this will happen only when you are able to transform your personality and you come out of so-called the life beyond studies. But trust me, all these things will not happen the way you want. You need to work a lot, and at the same time, you will face a lot of challenges. A lot of problems will come in your life. बहुत सारी परेशानियां जिंदगी आपको देगी. और उसके लिए मैं आपको एक मंत्रा दे देता हूं. एक छोटी सी मेरी स्पीच की एक क्लिप है. एक पूरा एक ब्रेकअप स्टोरी सुना रहा हूं, उसका एंड है. उसके बाद एक बहुत ही पावरफुल मैसेज, शायद अगर आपको इस पर्टिकुलर छोटी सी क्लिप में अगर आपको दिख जाए, शायद आपके लिए बहुत पावरफुल होगा. जस्ट वॉच दिस वीडियो. Okay, let me just share that. हाँ भाई रो लिए. हाँ भाई दाढ़ी वाड़ी बढ़ गई होती भाई साहब की, देवदास बन चुके होते. उनके शेव बनाया जाता. शेव बनाने के बाद उनको तैयार किया जाता और कनेक्ट करना बहुत अच्छे से. शेव बनाने के बाद, तैयार करने के बाद उनको बोलते थे चलो अट्टा मार्केट चलते हैं, नई प्रॉब्लम ढूंढते हैं. Life is all about moving on and moving on. The day, the moment you're stuck in one thing, you're stopped. उठो, चलो, बढ़ो, आगे बढ़ो, दौड़ो, गिरो, फिर उठो, फिर चलो, फिर बढ़ो, फिर दौड़ो, फिर गिरो. यही करना है और यही जिंदगी है. और सच बता दे रहा हूं दोस्त, आपको कोई भी चीजें लाइफ में शॉर्टकट नहीं मिलेंगी. आपको बड़ी परेशानी आएंगी, पर आने देते हैं ना कि जिंदगी जितनी परेशानी दे सकती है दे दे मुझे. हमने भी अपने अंदर एक जुनून पैदा किया है, देखे कौन जीतता है. So this is what the mantra for life beyond study is called as. जिंदगी जितनी परेशानी दे सकती है दे दे मुझे, हमने भी अपने अंदर एक जुनून पैदा किया है, देखे कौन जीतता है. With this thought, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being such a wonderful audience. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Excellent, Abhijit. Thank you so much. I think now it's a time and to the guest of the host.
Oindrila.
And after that, Wendela, after this program, I think we should invite Professor Dr. Naveen Das to summarize the entire G7 program from day one to till date. Let me take this opportunity to introduce Amitji. We have with us Professor Dr. Naveen Das. Dr. Das is Pro Vice Chancellor of our university. Side by side, parallelly, he is also Dean of School of Business and Economics. He's a legendary figure in the sense of in the education industry, not only in the education industry, from corporate, alumni of IIT Kharagpur, IIM Kolkata, worked with top-notch MNCs in India, and direct. Happens to be with ISB Hyderabad, founder director of IFI Business School, and then he's with us now. It's my pleasure and privilege to introduce Professor Dr. Naveen Das, who is actually my mentor in the sense of he's actually guiding a lot of things in terms of how beautifully we can guide, shape our students' life and career, like the way you described. I think he's going to just summarize our flagship event that we are introduced is called Adamas G Summit from the day one till today. And after that, there will be the closure of this event, and you be stay with us for some more time till this program, this entire event to be closed for this week. Over to you, Professor Dr. Naveen Das.
Yeah, welcome, sir. Welcome. So I'm seeing a lot of questions also on the chat box, but I think I'll try to answer after that. Okay, sir, over to you.
I think we must thank you very much, Mr. Pandey, and thank you, Abhijit, for giving me this opportunity. I know after a good sumptuous lunch, normally I personally don't like desserts, And the reason why I don't like dessert is that when you eat a dessert, uh, you somehow lose the taste of the food. If you actually enjoy your food, you should desist from having a dessert. Dessert is basically meant for very average kind of food, so that finally you leave your meal with a good taste in your mouth. But your meal was so good that I don't think there is a dessert required after this. So I will keep it very small and sweet. And that's exactly how I always normally try to keep my addresses. I have this onerous task of summarizing, five stalwarts, five stalwarts from five fields, from five different industries, having five different life paths, and who gave everything possible in their allotted 1 hour or so to the students. I think we must, as a university, put on record our heartfelt gratitude for that. It's not that easy to summarize your life journey for students in about half an hour or 1 hour. I know how difficult it is, but you people have done it, and we must say that it has been done brilliantly well. Not only the eclectic choice of the speakers, but also the kind of uh, journeys that all of you have gone through. And Avijit very carefully almost curated this program, G7 Summit, in his own style, in his own way, obviously starting with the name. In fact, the name itself is a shocker. So, and then again to put us to put a what I should say, another twist to that, he ensured that there were only 6 speakers and not 7. So quite a few things that are very unique for this program, and I have heard all of the speakers, and I have enriched myself, and I'm sure the students must have gained much more than maybe a middle-aged person like me. If I have gained, I'm sure they must have gained a lot, much more. I will go by the recency factor in my mind because I have heard you the latest. Obviously, I think hats off to you who stand and say that you have to look at life beyond studies. And but just to remind the students, obviously, I hope that all of you saw in Mr. Pandey um, the glint in his eyes when he said that, through all his examples, brilliant examples of Mr. Batliwala, um, uh, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, finally the Carnegie Mellon study, etc. But remember, my dear students, to come to a stage where you can proclaim that life is all about things beyond studies, you have to first study. So it's almost like Bill Gates saying that money is not important in life. But point is, you have to first make that much of money in life to say that money is not important in life. So that's a small reminder to all of you. Obviously, what he tried to stress was that much of the success that we normally reckon in life is actually what is done beyond the classrooms. Within the classrooms, with all the constraints of a textbook or a text, a syllabus, a number of hours to be delivered, an examination to be held, etc., much of the learnings get precluded from the lessons. And that is where life beyond studies is important. But to be there and to understand life and take lessons from life, you have to be perceptive. So I would add to all these skills that Mr. Pandey so painstakingly added to your repertoire. I'm sure many of you must have taken notes, and his speech was actually worth taking note of. He very pithily pointed out those points. Please add perseverance and perception. Most of our, and particularly in the time of the pandemic, somehow, since from morning till the late night, I know life was not that non-digital earlier. I know I also have a grown-up child, grown-up daughter. So I know that your life centers around digital. We can't help it. But then beyond digital, there is something that you have to have in your mind, which is the perception and which is the the understanding of the world that you have, understanding of the world around. It is not digital. Remember, the digital world is the alter ego of the world. It is not the world. The 5,569 connects that you have are actually not connects. In times of distress, none of them is going to come and share the shoulder with you. And therefore, it is important to understand the difference between digital and real. Life still revolves around real. Digital is an alter ego. But yes, happy are those for whom digital and real can match. But to do that, you need to have that perception. So develop the perception and develop the competence to understand the difference between the real and the unreal. Thank you very much, Mr. Pandey, for bringing about all those nuggets in your 1 hour of address, brilliantly put through examples. And therefore, I think if I summarize beyond this, it will be doing injustice to your great speech. Yesterday, we had Mr. N.K. Chaudhary, again, a self-made man, the man behind the Jaipur rugs. And if two celebrated professors of India have written case studies or have discussed his case in their books, obviously this man must have already done something. And yesterday, when we heard him, it was very clear that whatever he spoke from passion. Whatever he spoke was from the depths of truth. And truth comes only when there is passion. Now, in Adamas University, apart from our studies, the 12 or 13% of Mr. Batliwala, or in the Carnegie Mellon, the domain, we also ensure that every student goes through something called a minor, not only a major subject, but also a minor. And just to give a very outlandish kind of example, though, let me tell you, we still do not have a student like that. But we hope that someday there will be a student like that. That a student who is doing a bachelor's with us in computer science with a concentration of artificial intelligence also does with us a 20 credit minor program, a minor program of 20 credits in classical Indian music or Indian classical music. So we are waiting for that kind of a scenario where a student does a major and also a minor in a completely unrelated field. The beauty of unrelated field in the mind is that the synapses which are further away from each other get connected. And that is the hallmark of a truly learned man. Mr. N.K. Chaudhary, actually, rug making is a very, very painstaking, monotonous activity, besieged with caste, creed, color, poverty, etc. But then his creativity and his social responsibility, which were perhaps on the other side of his brain, they somehow came together. There were connections between these two synapses in the brain, and then he became what he is today. The founding father of an entire industrial belt in his part of the country. And he shared with us his beautiful principle, just like many of the principles, like the garbage principle, etc. You shared, Mr. Pandey. He also shared with us the finding yourself by losing yourself. Khud ko khokar, khud ko pana. So I think he lost himself to the world of his passion, but in the process, he actually found his true calling. And that is the message to our students also. While studying, and many a time a student's choice are, as Abhijit was mentioning in the beginning, a student's choice is made by the parents, by the peers, by the trends, etc. But finally, if, and at any age, for example, I found my calling at the age of perhaps 31, 32. It doesn't matter. There have been many, many unfortunate friends of mine who are still struggling to find their calling in life. But the day you find your calling in life, remember your day has been made. you will be the happiest person. You don't have to go to the laughing club. You don't have to, have a growl on your face. Your work ceases to become a work. It will become your passion. And what a brilliant life you can lead afterwards. So try to find out that passion that drives you from inside, and then you won't have to work for even a single day. So that's exactly perhaps the meaning of losing oneself to find oneself. Uh, that's what Mr. Chaudhary stressed on. The previous day, we had Mr. Lokesh Paik, the Chief of Digital Enterprise, and his focus was more on transforming the skills or transforming skills and employability for the new age, what we normally call the Industry 4.0. Well, obviously, the stress of his session was on change management, and particularly in the given period of the pandemic, how do you sort of change yourself to be adaptable to the changes in your industry or your sector? Every sector is going through change, including education. You talk of any sector, they have been either impacted negatively or positively. For example, e-commerce, we know have been positively impacted. There is hardly any e-commerce company which is not making profit now, obviously, and I'm talking about the real profit. He also shared his experiences through, again, examples, etc. How skilling is important for a country like India, not only focusing on the study part, but also, again, almost echoing Mr. Pandey, who says that it is not important to just have domain knowledge. You should also have the concomitant skills of applying those knowledge to your context. Contextual knowledge is where I think India, our Indian education system, lags behind, say, vis-a-vis Germany. By the way, he also gave quite a few examples from Bosch. Many of these Scandinavian countries, many of the so-called developed OECD countries, if someone analyzes them as to why they are advanced vis-a-vis country like India, who have been developing at least for the last, as long as we have been alive, I know, we have remained perennially a developing nation. The reason perhaps lies in the dignity of labor. The dignity of labor. We somehow in our mind do not have the dignity of labor. Though we give a lip service to people who work manually, but we still in our mind respect people who do not work manually. We respect people who are basically giving quote unquote gyan, and do not respect them who are actually working with their hands. And this is going to take this country further down. Until and unless we have respect for manual labor, this country has no future. Look at Germany, look at USA even, or look at Switzerland. They are advanced because they respect manual labor. Previous to that, we had Mr. Supriyo Sinha, who is the head of strategy and new initiatives at Axis Bank. He also more or less focused on his sector, the BFSI sector, and talked about how that sector is changing thanks to technology. We're all aware we are the new age banking customers. So we didn't go to State Bank of India and in a queue to open our account. For most of you, I know, my dear students, you must have opened your account digitally. You perhaps don't even go to your physical bank to collect a check or collect a draft. In fact, draft in about another 4 or 5 years, I think draft is going to become out of fashion. It has already become out of fashion. It won't be even visible, perhaps. So banking has transformed itself, particularly led by the private banks. Today, banking is completely different from what we saw banks about, say, 30 years ago. Mr. Sinha also shared about how technology is helping in customization. And that is another unique feature of digitalization. You can actually earmark whatever you are serving, including a lecture of Mr. Pandey or Mr. Chaudhary, specific to each one of you. And that is the beauty and the strength of the digital world. He also talked about such initiatives in the banking sector. On the first day of the G7 summit, we had Ketan Bhagat. Ketan, I think the worthy brother of a worthy elder brother, uh, Chetan Bhagat. Ketan focused more on spirituality, though I think he brilliantly camouflaged spirituality uh, uh, with a lot of humor, with a lot of humor. And that is what brings me to the point to say that I think his session was brilliantly orchestrated to connect with the new generation with a very, very deep message of spirituality. The final point that he made was that whatever field one chooses to be, finally, it is the good human being which is important. Again, echoing more or less almost all the speakers that it is not domain knowledge, it is not your scientific or technical knowledge, but it is the human skills, the life skills that are more important. Spirituality is obviously an overarching uh, factor of life skills. And whenever people talk about spirituality, you know that spirituality is not a mass action. It is not what you see in congregations of the fake babus or babas or the fake matas. Spirituality is a very, very singular, unique, individual path. And that is what he stressed on. He talked about three principles in life: love, simplicity, and excellence. And all these three together can make a human being spiritual. You have to love unconditionally. And he obviously, through various examples, talked about various facets of life and love. Obviously, stressing very, very strongly that he was not talking about love in the normal sense that we know, attached to lust, etc. But though both of them are important, simplicity, he talked about in his own way about keeping your life simple. The moment you make it complicated, actually you are not leading a life anymore. You are leading basically problems. And Mr. Pandey also stressed through his the last video that he showed that if you are just hankering for problems in life, they would come to you. But at the same time, please be prepared for problems in life because there would always be slips between the cup and the lip. Life doesn't go as you plan. So, on the whole, all these 6 days, I think speakers have stressed on leading a meaningful and a purposive and a purposeful life. And that is the essence of the G7 summit, which we feel is important because beyond the classrooms, the students must also be concerned about the other aspects of life. It's a complete human being that any organization for that matter uh, recruits. Very famously, again, long back, uh, someone commented that I normally recruit for attitude. The skills can be trained. Now, all these speakers were actually speaking about building that attitude, building that competencies or that human being in you, so that you don't have to hunt for a job. Jobs would come to you. So, with these words, to summarize, speakers who I think are not worthy of just a 15-minute summary and much beyond that, I'm humbled uh, to get this opportunity to summarize them. And just a couple of lines from my side. My dear students, I know it's almost 6:50, a fag end of today's program. Remember that the purpose of having such sessions is basically not to just stuff your brain with more and more information, but to actually develop what we normally call the metacognition of understanding the essence of these and trying to build those synapses, those connections in your brain which go beyond petty information. The metacognition that I'm talking about should actually elevate you from data information to perhaps a little bit of wisdom. I know much of the wisdom will come to you when you will start having gray hair like some of us, but remember, there is nothing wrong in starting early. Earlier the better. When you are faced with situations, when you experience life, see what you have to learn from that and move along. Get on with life, accept it, and how beautifully Mr. Pandey mentioned it. Accept the life and then solve it and be excellent. Thank you very much, Abhijit, for giving me this opportunity. And I hope that such sessions will be much more in the days to come, and we'll all be able to gain from these kind of sessions. Thank you once again, all of you. And thank you, Mr. Pandey, for accepting our invitation and giving us an exposure, a brilliant exposure on your life journey and the lessons thereof. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Professor Dr. Naveen Das, for summarizing so nicely, so articulately, beautifully this entire 6 days, six speaker, in the six different thought process they touched, but connecting all the dots and keeping a complete and drawing a complete or portraying a complete picture of Adamas G7 summit is a wonderful thing that I would probably say. Thank you so much, Professor Dr. Das. Over to you, Indrila, and other host or other anchor. Now take a few questions for Amit ji. Any questions that you have, please flag here so that Amit ji will definitely take a few questions. I know from this session you have learned a lot of things, but I'm sure at the same time, like the way Amit ji was telling, it's a very beautiful thing. Take up live how it is coming. I mean, there are a lot of things are not in your control. I think the most of things are not in your control. That's what it is. In fact, your birth itself is not in your control. Your your nothing is in your control. So then it is very important to learn how to accept the way how the situation is coming to you, how to accept that. This is the art of the life that you should learn. I think this is a very beautiful message. I'm sure that students must have a lot of questions. Any questions, please raise your hand and say, or unmute yourself and say, or and type in your chat box. So Indrila, over to you.
Yes, sir. Thank you. We do have a question in the chat box. So first of all, we have Mr. Abhiraj Basu. So he has actually summed up the entire talk of today. He's saying, respected Amit Pandey sir, today in our discussion on life beyond studies, we are enlightened with that thought that just a degree is not enough to fulfill the purposes of actual success in life's journey. It's the courageous personality to manage any cumbersome situation, influential communication skills, meaningful hard work, dedication with perseverance, generation of good habits, absorbing mentality towards the exposure of knowledge, power to accept the change and modify accordingly, enthusiastic approach towards the agenda. All that can fetch the real taste of success and fulfillment. Also came to know about the platforms of Super 77 that transforms human being by specially designed advanced leadership development programs for students as well as for corporates. Also, and helps to build upcoming leaders, and also about PinCap, which is an efficient financial assistance platform. We would like to know the behind the scenes story for such an interesting title, and also the story at the initiation level of both your initiatives, sir, which are PinCap and Super 77.
Great. You must be doing some research. I'm 100% sure. I have done a lot of research and all. Okay, so thank you so much. I think, what is your name? I can't read it. Abhiraj Bajru, right? Abhiraj.
Yeah.
Aviraj. Okay, Aviraj. So I think the reason for why Super 77. Okay, so actually it started last year during the COVID. I was watching this movie called Super 30. So the journey of Super 77 or the concept of Super 77 is full filming. So in fact, I have a session called Learning from Bollywood Movies. I'm a too much Bollywood lover. I think yesterday I did a session on learning from Bollywood movies with FIIB. It's a MBA college in Delhi. So this Super 30 movie, when I watched that movie, and especially the last scene, I'm sure you all might have seen that movie. जो लास्ट सीन है जब रिजल्ट आ रहा होता है तो सब लोग रिजल्ट देखने के लिए अंदर जाते हैं और ऋतिक रोशन साहब बाहर बैठे होते हैं तो उनका दोस्त अंदर से रिजल्ट देख के बाहर आता है और ऋतिक रोशन साहब पूछते हैं उससे तो बिहारी में बोलते हैं कहते क्या हुआ तो कहता हो गया कहता कितनों का कहता सबका guys you won't believe मेरे ना goosebumps आ गए मैंने कहा यार ये क्या है now this is what so if you see from last 5-6 years more than 300-400 colleges guest lecture across मतलब इंडिया के हर कोने कोने में जाके गेस्ट लेक्चर ये सब हो गया I've done more than 2000 students counseling career counseling of course majority of them were like relationship counseling because problem वहां ज्यादा है so a lot of counseling after when I've done I have found that कुछ ऐसा करते हैं जो जिंदगी बदल दे लोगों की and the same day at night at 7 o'clock I started designing this entire concept of Super 77 पूरा कॉन्सेप्ट बनाया 8 साढ़े 8 बजे मेरी एलपीयू की प्लेसमेंट डायरेक्टर थी उनसे मेरी फोन पे बात हुई मैंने कहा बस 77 बच्चे दे दो मुझे आई नीड 77 स्टूडेंट उन्होंने कहा आपको चाहिए कल ले लो मैंने कहा ठीक है रात को मुझे सोते समय याद आया कि यार अगर एक ही कॉलेज से ले लिया तो बाकी कॉलेज वाले कहेंगे सर हमें क्या कमी थी हमारे बच्चे क्यों नहीं लिए तो मैंने कहा अच्छा एक काम करते हैं गूगल फॉर्म बनाया हमने सारे कॉलेजेस को भेज दिया विद इन 2 days वी गॉट 500 registrations 500 registration because I said I'm going to mentor and I'm going to do this entire personality transformation. जितनी चीजें मैंने आपको बताई हैं, this is might be 0.001% of the model which I have designed. Finally 77 बच्चे select हुए, उनके पूरे session हुए और इतनी खुशी हुई मुझे जब उनको 1.5 महीने हमने करीब 15 sessions किए all 9 global thought leaders के साथ. In fact, Ketan is also part of Super 77 family. So उसके बाद जब सारे बच्चों ने एक बढ़िया सा बुके बना करके एक बड़ा सा पोस्टर बना करके गूगल पे रिव्यूज लिख लिख के बोला कि सर वाकई में जिंदगी बदल गई मतलब अब जिंदगी बदल चुकी है अब जिंदगी में कभी कोई परेशानी मतलब हमें डरा नहीं सकती तब हमें लगा 77 के 77 लोग देन दीज पीपल फोर्स्ड मी एक्चुअली कन्विंस्ड मी कि सर इसको डिजिटल प्लेटफॉर्म पे लॉन्च करते हैं बहुत सारे बच्चों का भला होगा Then we decided, and all 77 students along with me, we started working on this digital platform. खूब हमने पैसे वैसे खर्च किए पूरा हमने वेब सीरीज बनाई all 15 chapters are live sessions all web series and today if I tell you I have never thought that this will happen we have around 6,000 users on Super 77 across the globe from 35 countries including United States of America, Germany, Taiwan, Philippines, Singapore, Malaysia, Dubai, UAE, पता नहीं कहाँ से लोग register करके program करते हैं. We have been rated as number one company by Google out of 45 edtech companies in India based on Google reviews. We have more than 500 Google reviews. You type Super 77 on Google, you will see थोड़ा सा scroll करोगे आपको Google reviews दिखेंगे. More than 500 reviews with 4.8 rating out of 5. Zero negative review. लोग मतलब कह रहे हैं जिंदगी बदल गई, concept change हो गया, मेरी life से anxiety खत्म हो गई, I have become more confident, introvert से हम extrovert हो गए, all these things have started working. So I'm so happy that at least people are, loving the program and people are giving a lot of good feedback. And we also run this entire program to the corporate leadership program. So we have 2 modules. One is called for corporate, one is for student. For student हमने इसलिए भी किया है क्योंकि हम subsidy देते हैं. And the third thing which is very close to my heart is called Super 77, transforming humans who are underprivileged. So that is called actually helping humans. And उनको जब हम transform करते हैं तो वो लोग उसके बाद जब वो हमको रिस्पॉन्स देते हैं कि उनकी जिंदगी कैसे बदली है. So this program we have run with I think Bangalore based NGO. और अगर आप सबको ह्यूमैनिटी बहुत पसंद आती है तो शायद 10 सेकंड में आपको आप चाहे तो मैं आपको गूज़बम्स दे सकता हूँ. Just give me a second. So these are set of orphan students, अनाथ बच्चे जिनको एनजीओ चलाता है. 7th, 8th, 9th क्लास के स्टूडेंट्स को हमने ये पूरा प्रोग्राम चलाया और जब उनका पर्सनालिटी पूरा ट्रांसफॉर्म हो गया, कॉन्फिडेंस आ गया, सब कुछ आ गया, then they have gifted this video to us, small video to us. What they have gifted to us, just listen to this.
I'm transformed 100% with Super 77. I am more confident now. I am Basuraj 2.0. I am Super 77 now.
So ये करना चाह रहे हैं. To tie up with more than, you can say, hundreds or thousands of NGOs reaching to the villages, towns, और वहाँ के जितने underprivileged students हैं who can't even afford a small amount of money, free में उनको दे करके उनकी जिंदगी बदलना चाहते हैं. That's the only, I think you can say the motto of, so that's why if you see the Super 77 tagline, it says, helping humanity, transforming humans, building future leaders. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Amitji, I can still remember the when you conceptualized this idea of Super 77. You can also remember that we spoke each other night around 9:15. We have started talking and we finished our talk maybe around 12 o'clock. Over the phone, we both discussed how to actually formalize this idea and how to go about how to promote this idea in the different part of the country. So that's a great thing. And I'm also happy to say, and please accept my gratitude to you, is that you have accepted quite a good number of our students to offer internship. And I find the students are pretty happy. They are so happy, doing internship with you, getting a guidance, direct handholding from you and other mentors. I'm so happy. I just want to acknowledge this thing in this forum. So I thought to acknowledge this. Over to you, Indrila, for some more questions.
Thank you, sir. I have another question from Ms. Chandni Ghosh. She says, Amit ji, given the ongoing situation, what would be your suggestion to our students on how to balance studies and leisure effectively?
Okay, so Chandni ma'am, actually, that is what, if you see what we have tried to do, especially when we talk about the Super 7, we have given solution to every problem in form of theory. Okay, so key theory for happiness, 96 theory for conflict management, stress management. You want to solve any problem, we have given count theory. You can solve any problem of your life in 3 days. Now, isn't it amazing? कि आपकी जिंदगी में कोई भी बड़ी से बड़ी प्रॉब्लम हो आप 3 दिन में सॉल्व कर सकते हो. Just use that count theory. So that is why it becomes magical to the people. So I am going to disclose the 888 theory. 888 theory is prioritization, how you manage your time. So 888 theory is basically, if you add 888 becomes 24, and 24 is hours. This is what a gift everybody in the world gets every day in the morning. When you get up in the morning, you actually get 24 hours. जिसमें से आपको 8 घंटे सोना है. So 888 theory works like 8 hours you have to work for your primary activity. 8 hours of the work you have to do for your secondary activity. And 8 hours sound sleep. मुझे लगता है, मुझे बड़ा सरप्राइज लगा जब मैंने 888 थ्योरी लॉन्च की थी कि उसका सबसे ज्यादा इंपैक्ट यूथ के ऊपर जो हुआ, मुझे लगा शायद वो प्राइमरी और सेकेंडरी में बैलेंस करेंगे. I was shocked when most of the students said, I think when we did survey, 89% students said कि सर सबसे ज्यादा तो हमने 888 थ्योरी में 8 घंटे सोने वाली प्रैक्टिस करी, क्योंकि हम सोते तो ही नहीं. रात को 3-3 4-4 बजते हैं, तो गेमिंग जोन में होते हैं या सोशल मीडिया में होते हैं. 8 घंटे आपको सोना है, 8 घंटे आपको प्राइमरी काम करना है, 8 घंटे आपको सेकेंडरी काम करना. Now to differentiate what is primary and what is secondary, very simple. Primary is something which is you are preparing today for your future. So when I say do not worry for your future, prepare for your future. Whether you are doing technical study or whether you are learning any new skill, whatever you are doing, 8 hours primary work. और बाकी का जो 8 hours secondary hours है, you do everything. You take shower, you take food, you do leisure time, you play sports, whatever you want to do, just do. So that is how you have to define your time in a 24 hours. 8 hours primary, 8 hours secondary, and 8 hours sleeping. That is how the best thing to understand what is primary, because a lot of people ask how to differentiate primary versus secondary. So let me tell you, there is a very popular quote, and that goes like, always remember 2 dates in your life. One when you got the birth, second when you come to know why. एक दिन आपका जन्म हुआ और एक दिन आपको पता चलेगा कि आपने जन्म क्यों लिया. जो भी एक्टिविटी आपको उस क्यों की तरफ ले जा रही है कि आपने जन्म क्यों लिया, वो प्राइमरी है. जो भी काम आज आप कर रहे हो जो आपको क्यों की तरफ ले जा रही है, वो प्राइमरी है. So when I say Super 77 Advanced Leadership Program, 15 chapters, powerful live sessions, within 21 days you have to finish, it's primary. Because ये आपके अंदर एक future leadership skill generate करेगी, right? So all these things you can just differentiate. और लेजियोर का तो मैं बहुत, so I am a true believer of work hard and party hard. I am a core party animal. मैं बहुत ज्यादा party animal बंदा हूँ. But मैं जब party करता हूँ तो काम छोड़ देता हूँ. जब काम करता हूं तो पार्टी छोड़ देता हूं. एक और चीज जो मुझे लगता है वो है फोकस. मुझे एक चीज क्या लगती है कि lot of people have learned this model called multitasking, and this is one thing which I strongly believe that people should never ever try. There's nothing called multitasking. In fact, your mindset has not been designed to do multitasking. Your mindset has been designed to do only 2 tasks at a time. The one task which you will do from your conscious mind, and second task you will do from your subconscious mind. Then only you can do 2 tasks at a time. आप conscious mind से 2 task नहीं कर सकते. अगर मैं आपको hilarious तरीके से बताऊं तो फोन पे बातें करते समय आप WhatsApp पे चैट नहीं कर सकते effectively. या तो आप WhatsApp पे जिसको चैट कर रहे होगे वो बात आप फोन पे बोल दोगे, या फोन करने वाले बात को धीरे, होता ना कई बार चुप हो जाते हो, सामने वाला बोलता है कहाँ ध्यान है, ध्यान ही नहीं करो. बट आप खाना खाते समय टीवी देख सकते हो, क्योंकि खाना आपका सबकॉन्शियस माइंड खाता है और टीवी आपका कॉन्शियस माइंड देखता है. सो यू नीड टू लर्न व्हाट इज which model conscious mind is working, which model subconscious mind is working. Right. Okay, ma'am. Next question.
Yes, sir. There is another question. There are 2 very close transitions that one student faces almost back to back. One from school to university and one from university to corporate. Time gap being 3 to 4 years. What would you suggest be the basic guidelines for the second transition, it being there for the next 40 years or so?
Wow. Samajit Ganguly, amazing question, bro. Amazing question. So what I'll try to explain you in this is that I don't think the first transition is something which is important. It happens with the people in a very natural way. Schooling to graduation, school to college. Because this all part is called as a part of an education period. So if I have to tell you, your life is divided into 2 parts. And it's like a movie. So जैसे होता ना दबंग, दबंग return, गोलमाल return, part 1, part 2, बाहुबली return. ऐसे ही आपकी लाइफ है. इस लाइफ के 2 पार्ट है. फर्स्ट पार्ट ऑफ योर लाइफ इज कॉल्ड एजुकेशन पीरियड एंड सेकंड पार्ट ऑफ योर लाइफ इज कॉल्ड वर्किंग पीरियड. आप कुछ भी करें, आप बिजनेस करें, आप नौकरी करें, आप अपना स्टार्टअप शुरू करें, कुछ भी काम करें, दैट इज कॉल्ड वर्किंग पीरियड. Most of the people when I do career counseling goes wrong when they think कि उनका second part of life will start from the end of the first part. सबको ये लगता है ना, फर्स्ट पार्ट एंड हुआ, मुझे डिग्री मिल गई, यहां से मेरा सेकंड पार्ट शुरू होगा. तो मैं सबको बहुत पावरफुल थॉट क्लैरिटी देता हूं कि प्लीज ब्रेक दैट मिथ. दिस इज नॉट द राइट थिंग हाउ यू शुड थिंक इन योर माइंड. Your second part of your life will start exactly the same way how the first part has started. So when you will go to the corporate world on day 1, day 2, day 3, आपको हफ्ते 10 दिन 15 दिन 1 महीने 2 महीने 3 महीने वही दिक्कतें आएंगी जब आप लोअर केजी में जब स्कूल जाते थे आती थी। आपको याद है ना बचपन में क्या होता था, पेट में दर्द होने लगता था, है ना? आप लोगों ने किया नहीं किया पता नहीं, बट मैं तो स्कूल जाता था और वापस आ जाता था और घर आकर के कोई बढ़िया सा बहाना बताता था कि चपरासी के नाना के भतीजे के मौसे की डेथ हो गई इसलिए स्कूल बंद है। बारिश हो रही है तो हम लोग रेनी डे मनाने लगते थे, अरे अब स्कूल नहीं जाना, छुट्टी है। पेट दर्द के बहाने सुबह सुबह दर्द होना शुरू होता है, जैसे ही बस चली जाती थी पेट दर्द ठीक। तो ये सबने किया, तो यही सेम चीज आपके साथ कॉर्पोरेट वर्ल्ड में भी शुरू होगी। So initial phase of the corporate world, what you have to learn. So I have designed a lot of quotes, and I will tell you one. This very powerful quote is called 20 years of education experience, 10 years of corporate working experience is equal to 30 years of earning experience. Education experience, 10 years of learning experience, next 30 years of earning experience. So Jack Ma once said that when you are young, focus towards learning, not towards earning. और आप देखिए ज्यादातर बच्चे कॉलेज में क्या बोलते हैं कि सर 7 लाख की नौकरी लग जाए, 8 लाख का पैकेज मिल जाए, 10 लाख का पैकेज मिल जाए। इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं है आप 3 लाख की नौकरी करिए, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं। इंपॉर्टेंट ये है व्हाट इज योर पैकेज आफ्टर 15 years, not at the start. What is your package after 20 years? Because most of the people will not reach to that level where you will earn money. आप बिलीव नहीं करोगे, जब मैं मिराकल की बात करता हूं, मेरी लाइफ में 4 बार मुझे डबल प्रमोशन मिला है, 5 बार 100% से ज्यादा पीएमएस में इंक्रीमेंट मिला है। मतलब मेरी लाइफ में जो सैलरी है वो एक्सपोनेंशियल ग्रोथ हुई है। बट कब हुई है? जब मैंने 10-12 साल लीडरशिप स्किल अच्छी तरीके से सीखी है, एक एक चीजें सीखी है, पर्सनालिटी ट्रांसफॉर्म की। सो आई थिंक डू नॉट वरी फॉर द कॉर्पोरेट वर्ल्ड. You just need to think that this is a new life. It's a part 2 life starting, and you will be able to handle that.
Great.
Thanks, Swamiji.
Yes, sir. I have another question from Ms. Sushmita Sinha. Sir, currently the education system is geared to laying emphasis much more on domain knowledge, the 12.5%. In face of this, what advice would you give to young universities such as us?
मैं अगर सजेशन दूंगा ना तो अभिजीत जी नाराज हो जाएंगे. So I have been to a lot of colleges, lot of universities. In fact, I'm actually advisory council, board of council member also in 3 universities and 4 colleges. So I keep giving a lot of suggestions. मुझे क्या लगता है, what I feel is that the entire education system in the current situation need to, sit in the boardroom and start thinking, starting from the scratch. The way how we see from the corporate world that people who are graduating from the colleges, somehow they are not employable. So if I have to tell you the recent thing, what I keep telling to the people is that 80-90% job profiles which are coming up, they are going to be business related. And if you ask any final year student how many people are ready for a field sales job, I think you will not find more than 10%. You will not find. Okay, now that is the biggest gap. So it's not the problem in the corporate world that the job opportunities are not there. Job opportunities are there. In fact, COVID has created a lot of new job opportunities. A lot of new job opportunities. Entire edtech industry has been created due to COVID. Right? कभी आपने सुना था कि ये online courses, ये सब चीजें कभी आएंगी? आ गई, चल रही हैं. All these things, what has been created today, people need to, guide and coached in a proper way. That you should be ready without your core knowledge also. Because in case if there is a lot of opportunities which are coming, we need to get into a model that accept whatever comes in front of us. I think Abhijit ji would agree with me. जब मैं HBTU में पढ़ रहा था कानपुर में, तो मुझे कुछ नहीं पता होता कॉर्पोरेट वर्ल्ड के बारे में, और मैं सिर्फ भगवान से मंगाता था, भगवान किसी भी जगह किसी भी गांव में एक नौकरी लगवा दो, एक नौकरी लगवा दो, एक बार इस कॉर्पोरेट वर्ल्ड के अंदर चले जाने दो, फिर मैं दुनिया को दिखा दूंगा ना कि अमित पांडे क्या चीज है. एक बार चले तो जाने दो, बस कहीं भी नौकरी लगवा दो. And that is what I want all the students should be taught in that way. Get only one job, that's all. Please do not choose your job. इसमें बैठना, इसमें नहीं बैठना. आप believe नहीं करोगे. I was talking to one of the college university. They were saying there are 70 companies came in the campus for placement. Not a single person, the student have applied for the registration. मना कर दिया उन्होंने. किसी की सैलरी कम है, किसी की लोकेशन प्रॉब्लम है, किसी का प्रोफाइल गलत है, किसी के यहां तक की देते कि किसी का तो ग्लास डोर में रिव्यू ठीक नहीं है. कर क्या रहे हैं हम लोग? What are we saying? Why we are doing so much of research of one or another company? Most of the companies are same. So why don't we prepare? We should be ready for ourselves. Forget about the company. मुझे इससे कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ा कि मैंने किस कंपनी में काम किया. मैंने जिस कंपनी में काम किया वहां पे मैंने सोचा कि मैं मालिक हूं और इसलिए मेरे पीछे इतने अवार्ड है. मुझे किसी ने बोला थोड़ा था कि आपको अवार्ड भी लाना है. You should have the confidence in you that you go to any company, small or big, doesn't matter. You have that power of positivity, personality, that कि आप एक चीज मैं आपको बता दूं. इनफैक्ट प्रवीण सिन्हा जो जबाम का फाउंडर है, सुपर 77 के मेंटर है, उन्होंने मुझे एक बार बड़ी अच्छी चीज बोली थी. ही इज IIT IIM पास आउट, वेरी क्या कहते हैं, बहुत हाई लेवल इंटेलेक्ट बंदा है वो. उसने मुझे एक बार बोला था कि अमित मुझे क्या लगता. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. He said to me once कि आप पर्सनालिटीज जो बहुत पावरफुल होती है ना, उनको आप जाकर के कहीं गांव के कोने में जाकर के छुपा के भी रख दो, तब भी लोग उनको ढूंढ के निकाल के आ जाए. They are just like इत्र. इत्र होता ना, what do you call, परफ्यूम. परफ्यूम का कॉन्सेंट्रेटेड वर्जन इत्र. आप इत्र की शीशी को गिरा दो बेड के नीचे कहीं भी, पूरे घर पे वो महक छोड़ देते. कहते जो पर्सनालिटीज होती है ना, वो अपने आप लोग फाइंड आउट कर लेते हैं. वो बनते हैं ना, वैसी पर्सनालिटी बनते हैं. और जो हम बात कर रहे हैं कि अगर आपकी पावरफुल पर्सनालिटी बन गई, तो मैं आपको एक चीज तो बता दूं कि कंपनियां आएंगी और आपको लेकर के चली जाएंगी. और अगर वो लेकर के नहीं जाती हैं, तो ये कंपनी की प्रॉब्लम है, आपकी नहीं. उन्होंने आपके जैसे बंदे को मिस कर दिया, उनकी प्रॉब्लम. पर्सनालिटी बनाने पे ध्यान दो. Change your personality, groom up your personality. फिर देखो आप. So I think this is one suggestion for the union. Second thing, with due respect of all the
network
teachers.
is.
Yeah, Abhijit sir.
The network was little bit disturbed.
Okay.
Anyway.
Okay.
Yeah. This is absolutely true.
Yeah. The second thing what I suggest to the universities and colleges is, please work on your teachers and professors. Days are gone when teachers or professors used to teach and students used to listen, study. Every teacher and professor need to be trained on orating skills. Today, teacher has to be an orator. He or she should know how to orate so that people are able to gain the knowledge what they are saying. In fact, I'll not tell the name of the university. I am actually running a program of Super 77 with 500 professors with that university to groom their entire personality with the so-called the orating skills. जो अभिजीत सर हम लोग बात कर रहे थे, in fact, I was talking to them, art of storytelling. Everybody has to learn art of storytelling. Everybody has to learn not to become so serious, not to become so much of the bookish knowledge. Talk sometimes, very, very humorous jokes. कई बार जोक्स मारे, कई बार कोशिश करें कि इंस्टा पे क्या क्या लिंगोस चल रहा है. ठीक है, अगर कोई बीच में यूज करे इस तरह के वर्ड, अरे गजब ये तो सुपरलेट था बॉस, बच्चा तुरंत कनेक्ट करेगा. अरे टीचर को भी पता है सुपरलेट क्या होता है. So those things, I think, when you connect with that, because I think a speaker or orator or teacher or professor, all they need is to connect. Speak what people want to listen rather than speak what you want to speak. So 2 suggestions only.
Correct. Absolutely.
Amazing. I think the one point I would like to take it from here. See, most of the students says that, okay, I need to go to this profile. I need to choose this profile. I need to go to this company. They talk about the brand and so many things, right? I can still remember the first, when I joined my first organization, NIT. NIT has given me a lot of, learning actually. Uh, After working almost around 3-4 months as an intern in corporate office, then suddenly they asked me to go and join in some district branch. Yeah. Then I was little, unhappy that why should I go and join the district branch and so many things. I'm a little unhappy. And then I understand how the district branch is doing. I have seen the book and the book of accounts and all. The district branch is doing continuously for last 3 years is a negative growth, degrowth, 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 degrowth. Then I actually went back to my dad and said, "Dad, again, they are giving me transfer to some district branch and all. The branch is not doing good. What should I do there? I'm a tech guy, so what should I do there and all?" So I was not very, keen to go there. My dad is a banker. Actually, he was a banker. He said a very beautiful thing. If the branch is not doing good, and if your manager is still pushing you there, that means if you go there and transform that, your life ban jayega. So you go there, try to develop something there. Use your own thought, whatever you wish to do it. Try to develop that. Trust me, that branch from 4th years on till today, alive and doing fantastic. I left NIT almost around 10 years before, 10, 12 years before. Is doing fantastic. So that should be the courage that students who take it as a challenge. Yeah. If organization is not doing good and still hiring me, that means I can be a fact of transformation. And if I do that transformation, I don't know what is going to good happen with the organization. I am 100% sure, 100% good is going to happen with me, whether in that company or in some other company. So that's the message probably I learned from you, from your talk also today.
Yeah. So one more thing, if you see, the moment you start the corporate world, जैसे आप corporate world में जाते हो, जैसे मैंने जब शुरू किया था, तो मैंने chemical engineering में बीटेक किया था. मेरी बड़ी इच्छा थी कि मैं थोड़ा टेक्निकल काम करूं, तो मुझे सेल्स का प्रोफाइल दिया गया. मुझे नेरोलैक पेंट्स ने हायर किया और मेरी B2B सेल्स में नौकरी लगी. मारुति मेरा कस्टमर था. वहां पे पेंट शॉप पे मुझे ये काम करना था. तो मुझे शुरू में 3-4 महीने वही दिक्कतें रही. घर से बाहर रहने के बाद मैं वापस गया और अपने पिताजी से पूछा. मैंने कहा, आपने ये 30-32 साल रिजर्व बैंक में, वो भी बैंकर थे, बैंक में काम करते थे, तो मैंने उनसे पूछा, मैंने कहा, ये आपने 30-32 साल कैसे निकाल दिए? हमसे तो 3 महीने नहीं कट रहे नौकरी में. मतलब बिल्कुल रोता हुआ बच्चा. पिताजी ने एक सेंटेंस बोला, कहते, बेटा आदत डाल. अब वो चीज मैंने एंग्रेव कर ली. मैंने कहा, भाई आदत डालनी है तो डाल लो. मैंने डाल ली और आप देख लीजिए कि तब से लेकर के आज तक है, मैं आज तक एक रात ऐसी नहीं आई जिसमें मैं बिना जॉब के सोया कभी. तो ये सारी चीजें जो है, मुझे लगता है कि आई थिंक ये सारे ना छोटे छोटे पॉइंटर्स होते हैं जो आपको हिट करते हैं. छोटी छोटी चीजें की आदत डाल लो. आपको धीरे धीरे काम करने की आदत डालनी पड़ेगी. एंड दैट इज व्हाट वी, मुझे क्या लगता है कि साइमन सिनेक का जो वो बता रहे थे ना कि वी डोंट हायर फॉर स्किल्स, वी हायर फॉर एटीट्यूड. हाँ, इनफैक्ट सुपर 77 का पंचलाइन यही है. So all the HR, when they get trained, we tell them that hire for an attitude, don't hire for skills. हमारे फॉर्म में हमने CV को मैंडेटरी नहीं किया. Can you believe that? We said we don't hire for your CV, we don't hire for your percentage of marks. I'm least bothered about your percentage of marks. Why? Because if you have that attitude, we will teach you the skills. So that is what I think, the positive, powerful attitude. If somebody is able to create, I've seen wonders in people's life, wonders in people's life. And college is the best time to, start that transformation, because that is the time when you are not too much corrupt. आप जैसे आगे बढ़ेंगे, कॉर्पोरेट वर्ल्ड में जाएंगे ना, आपका माइंड और करप्ट होना चाहिए.
Yes.
So school or college, I think, is the right time when you can mold, your mind into a very powerful right direction, or a very powerful wrong direction or negative direction.
Yeah. That's the reason you look at your college friendship, school friendship, college friendship lasts till end of the life.
Yeah.
Corporate friendship may not last for the end of the life.
जब
बुढ़ापा आ जाएगा वो घर चला जाता है.
सिंपल सी बात है, सारी हरकतें हमने उन्हीं के साथ शुरू की थी.
Exactly.
ठीक है, तो इसलिए हमारे अच्छे दोस्त बनते हैं.
Yeah. I think now we are almost end of the program. I think 7:30 is going to be. It's 5:30 to 2 hours. Amitji, it's amazing, engaging people for 2 hours. Yeah. Now, host, please process the next part.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Amit sir, for answering the questions, and also thank you, audience, for your participation. I would now request Ms. Sushmita Sinha, who is the head of outreach of Career Development Cell at Adamas University, to deliver the vote of thanks. Over to you, ma'am.
Good evening. Am I audible to all?
Yeah.
Good evening, Mr. Pandey. It's my privilege to give the vote of thanks to you on behalf of Adamas University. We are at the end of the Adamas G7 Summit, and what a felicitous way to end this journey. So there were many thought-provoking points today for all of us. The mismatch between what we should build upon versus what we end up stressing on in our pursuit of growth. What does success actually mean, and how does one gauge it? The ability to be able to be non-serious, to be able to take ourselves not so seriously, irrespective of what levels we reach in our career. Various categories of people, what are the typical attributes of them, the fact that knowledge is all around, but power only comes when you execute that knowledge. Procrastination is evil, and the key is acceptance of your situation. There are so many other points that I would like to enumerate, but paucity of time prevents me to count all of them. So we at Adamas reverberate your thoughts on the role of soft skills and why we need to enhance it. We want to provide a culture of lifelong learning, along with, of course, imparting technical skills. We are of the strong belief that these are the differentiations that would set our students apart. So I sign off by borrowing from Mr. Neil Armstrong by saying that these small steps of ours in this direction will one day be a giant leap for our students. Thank you, students, faculty, my fellow colleagues, my seniors, for your participation. And sir, I just can't thank you enough for this. Thank you all. Stay safe.
Thank you. And Amitji, just a token of appreciation. This certificate, we are presenting you here the digital format, and I would like to take your postal address, and we'd like to send this certificate in the in a framed format to you in your postal address in the due time. I'll talk to you maybe tomorrow sometime and take your postal address and.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Once again, thank you so much.
Thank you.
With
Thank
this
you, everyone.
note, formally, we are actually closing Adamas G Summit 2021. And stay happy, stay safe, accept whatever coming in the life. Life is joyful. Life is not a stress. Life is always happy, joyful. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.